The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Rey is a better Jedi than Luke.
That's it? That's all you got?
Broadcasting from the Outer Rim territories, this is the Crusty Cantina, starring Daddy Louie, Miss V, Jay Quellen, Mr. Deacon, and Tommy D.
Welcome to the Crusty Cantina, everyone. I'm Tommy D, and look who's joining us. It's Mr. Deacon from the Mr. Deacon Experience. Let's crack it. Drinking rot gut.
Coors Light is not rot gut.
Don't mention the name. They're not endorsing us.
Boors Light
Boors Light.
is.
We need to find you a real beer.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have Deacon Espresso or something.
The Mr. Deacon Espresso instead
like
of the Experience.
50% alcohol.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting the Mr. Deacon Experience right now.
Get fucked up, dude.
Yikes. And to my right, your left, the mysterious Miss V.
Hello there.
And the lovely and talented and somewhat naive space bun wearing Jay Quellen.
Hello. We're losing our damn mind.
We are.
Wow.
And the most hated man in the room right now, standing 6'2" tall, weighing an impressive 275 pounds.
You reversed the height.
From parts unknown, the man, the myth, the legend, the heel of heels, Darth Daddy.
Hello, Joe.
Feel the fear. And on tonight's show, we are going to be playing Darth Daddy versus the Guardians of a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Know the power of the dark side.
Explain that to the fine folks at home.
Sure. So, in this game that we play, Jay Quellen, our resident nitwit, nerd in training here, I am going to express my feelings, which is controversial against a lot of what
The popular opinion.
The popular opinion of other Star Wars fans.
We'll get through this, buddy.
And when I do that, her little meter is going to slide towards the dark side. Or
Is this like a jackometer?
A what?
What?
A jackometer?
Because my name's Jackie.
Oh my god.
What?
There you go.
My mind went to a very different place.
We talked about it.
Jackometer.
so basically this is a debate style game. I'm going to throw out some opinions. They're going to throw out some opinions, and at the end we'll see who Jackie agrees with. So
Yeah, it's a new season. I am neutral
Yep.
currently.
So, but we will preface this. Jackie does not know a lot about Star Wars, so
I know everything. Shut
the
up.
stuff that Daddy Louie is going to be throwing out there, you know, we really have to try to convince her that Louie is wrong and an asshole. So if he is a bigger asshole than we anticipated, then she's going to the dark side, and we might.
And it
lose
has
her.
happened.
It has happened.
today we will be talking about Rey Skywalker and
Rey.
how she is
Everybody loves Raymond.
Rey Skywalker,
Oh.
and how she is
Different
a
show.
better Jedi, and in my opinion, a better character
Trash.
than Luke Skywalker. So in this first round, thank you,
Yeah.
we're going to compare Luke in A New Hope to Rey in The Force Awakens. All right? So, Jackie, first,
Daddy.
Oh, no.
Whoa!
So,
Whoa! Hey!
so first we see Luke,
He's
a
touched my
whiny farm boy, right, who likes to shoot womp rats
With his T-16
with his
Skyhopper.
little T-16 Skyhopper, right? And he complains about how he doesn't get to go hang out with his friends down at Tashi Station, and he does nothing except cleans droids and, you know, does whatever Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru need him to do. And in the end of the movie, he accomplishes absolutely nothing throughout the entire film without the help of a plethora of people. The only thing that he actually does that's good in the end is blow up the Death Star, and he could not have done that without Han and Chewbacca. He would have been space dust without them. Fast forward to A Force Awakens. Rey, survivor right from the start. Left alone, she is great at scavenging. She's great at taking care of herself, making sure that she has everything that she needs to survive. She saves the day like 3 times, and in the end, fights off a trained Sith, saving her new best friend, pulling him away from the planet before it is blown up. Rey saves the day. Luke, whiny farm boy. I'm gonna let them talk now.
Can I go first?
Please, yes.
So,
I feel sick to my stomach.
in a Darth Daddy first, I'm on Team Louis.
Oh!
100%. I cannot argue against that point. Like, it's against my core, because here's the thing. I also, side note, neither of these are my favorite Jedi characters. So, like, I don't have a stake in it either way. But comparing 4 through 7, Rey, right off the bat, when you meet her, she has been surviving on her own. She is scrapping. She is living and surviving on this planet completely of her own means. Luke was living comfortable under the house of his aunt and uncle. He had no real skills other than, like, basic piloting from, like, fighting speeders, blah, blah, blah. Rey, right off the bat, she has immense piloting skills. We see how good she is at, like, staying alive. She does do a lot on her own. I will say, we cannot discredit how important it was blowing up the Death Star, and he was able to harness the Force to do that feat. However, it is true that it was because Han and Chewie blasted every other ship that was coming after him. But I think right off the bat, we do see a little bit more strength in the Force with Rey, because it takes a lot to be able to wield a lightsaber against someone who has the strength of Kylo Ren. So I think if we were to pit those two characters against each other at that point in their lives, I would say that Rey is the best. I know they hate me now, but go ahead, gentlemen.
Do you want to do it or should I?
Well, you go ahead, man. You're obviously teed off about this, so go ahead.
First of all, we have to look at Star Wars for what it is. Mm-hmm. It is quintessentially the hero's journey. So, yes, Rey, all of those things. Yeah, sure, whatever. Fine, whatever. What we have to remember is that it was known that Luke was... Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be like... nobody needs to see that. Just... You don't need to patronize, okay? Just calm down.
Okay.
Calm down.
I'm calm.
It was known that Luke was Vader's son, right? This was known. He had to have been sheltered. He had to... Basically, he had to be hidden this entire time. So there was no opportunity for him to really express his power. And we know that he does become the most powerful Jedi in the game. You had your moment! You had your moment! You had your moment! This is not a rebuttal phase! Anyway.
You mad, bro?
Shush! Give me back my pillow! You don't get the pillow now. I get the pillow. It's warm, though. Thank you. So, we don't know enough about Rey because she's such a trash character. She's such a one-dimensional character because we don't know enough about her to know if anyone actually helped her or not. You know, so she
Wait a minute.
She didn't.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
I still get to talk.
Wait a minute.
I still get to talk.
You can't say that about Rey and not about Luke.
Listen, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Stop.
All right.
So, did Luke have help? Yes. He had Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. He had Obi-Wan watching over him, making sure that he was living the farm boy life, staying off the Force radar. Okay, that was very, very important. However, he did the whole T-16 Skyhopper, bullseye, womp rats, all that. He used the Force for that, same way Anakin did with the pod racer. He didn't know he was using the Force, but he was using the Force. But he did have assistance to keep him down.
He was suppressed.
He was absolutely suppressed. So he had assistance in that because he had to stay off the radar. Had Palpatine known about him, had Vader had known about him, that's it. It would have been game over. But with Rey, she doesn't have parents that we know about. She has no backstory that we know about. We see her as a little girl, like, crying for some shuttle. No, it's still my turn. I'm not done yet. Crying for a shuttle. It's go, Mommy and Daddy. And then we see her living in a fucking AT-AT? It's just in the middle of the desert. That doesn't happen. She's working for the junker scrap guy. She's getting her little MREs from him and whatever. And that's all great. But she was developing. Is she strong in the Force? Sure, absolutely. I'm not disputing that. No. But she's
Does anybody have a timer going?
She's such a one-dimensional character
Give
The
Deacon a
bitch
shot.
had an unfair advantage off top. Now, he said in New Hope that your father was strong with the Force. He was one of the best pilots that I ever known. So he's already implying that you come from a badass lineage already. So I'm going to train you. And then he comes to find out, hey, I'm a Jedi. This is how it rolls. So he had Obi-Wan at the beginning of his training. Now, we all know, like he said, can I jump forward? Can I jump forward?
No.
No.
You need
We're not
to
doing
shut
that yet.
the
But anyway,
fuck
already,
up.
we're seeing a rich backstory develop for Luke in A New Hope.
A rich
Already.
backstory for his daddy.
Yeah. All right, Jackie, where are you at after round 1?
She's scared.
That's like, what in the fuck?
Okay, I'm just gonna say that I need y'all to think about who you're trying to persuade here. All of you.
Yes, ma'am.
I was looking at you and talking
Okay,
to
no,
you
no,
when
no,
I was
no.
telling the story.
Not about that. I have no idea what the hell is going on right now. No idea. I have never seen the sequels. So I need you to dumb this down a lot.
All right. So I'm
lot.
good at dumbing things down, and I'm dumb.
All right, well,
so
round
I'm good.
1's over.
All right, that's
so
fine.
I'm
where are you at
saying
after
neutral
round 1?
because
All right. Okay.
Neutral. All right.
because there's just a lot of yelling and it's all over my head.
Fair
I'm
enough.
a small
All right.
child. I'm
All right.
a small Star Wars child.
All right, so let's jump now into the second round where we compare Luke in Empire Strikes Back to Rey in The Last Jedi, okay? So in Luke in The Empire Strikes Back, he gets knocked off of a tauntaun and then gets carried away by, what were those things called? Wampas?
The Wampa.
The
yeah.
Wampa. And hung upside down. He uses the Force. He has to try really hard. I've been training for, I don't know, what's the
10
difference?
minutes!
No, he's
10
been,
minutes!
no, way longer.
been a
What,
few
2
years.
years? 2 years
By
between A New Hope.
himself.
He's like,
By himself. He had nobody to help him.
and then it comes to him. Keep in mind, Rey did that exact same thing at the end of the last movie, okay?
How do I keep that in mind if I didn't know it
Yeah.
until just
Tell
a
it,
second?
All right, so what Luke had been training for 2 years to do, Rey just did, you know.
He's a fucking
She's just like,
Palpatine.
you know.
It's his
So then
turn.
he abandons his friend to go and find a little green alien guy to train him to be better with the Force because he needs that experience, right? And while he's with the little green guy, Yoda, he has trouble
Thank you.
lifting rocks, and he disobeys and he goes into the cave even though Yoda tells him not to go into the cave.
Too much of his father in him.
And then he gets these visions of his friends being hurt, and he abandons Yoda. He abandons what he's supposed to be doing with Yoda again. Yoda says, "Don't go, because I need you to stay here and train so that you can defeat Vader and you can defeat the Emperor." And he goes, "No, I have to go help my friends." So he abandons his training to go and help his friends.
Like a hero does.
But what he actually ends up doing is falling into a trap that he was pre-warned about, which ultimately leads to his best friend getting captured and frozen in carbonite for 2 years.
Wait a minute.
They were more work-related acquaintances than best
And
friends.
then,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know they just-
and then he cockily.
Wow.
He
What?
with
Confidently?
confident. Okay, thank
Overly
you.
confident?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
I don't know,
over
cockily. That's a t-shirt.
overly
cockily.
overly confidently, overly
Just, yes.
Whatever,
Yes,
yeah.
What?
You get it.
tries to take on Vader after not even being able to lift a few rocks, gets his hand chopped off, and has to essentially go into hiding for 2 years while he comes up with this master plan to get his friend back.
God, that's great. Okay. get
That's
on with
Empire
it.
Strikes
Sure.
Back. Now let's look at Rey in The Last Jedi.
Yes,
right?
please. She's in there for like 2 minutes.
She resists the dark side very well. Okay? She convinces Luke to man up when no one else could, because Luke has been in hiding and for 30 years. Well, no, I guess it wasn't. He wasn't in hiding that long, but he had been in hiding. All of his friends are dying. They're failing to defeat the First Order. So he wusses out and he goes into exile. Rey is the one who convinces him to man up and come back to the fight. And in the end,
That's a lie.
she uses her Force powers, which, by the way, she's gotten no training to do, to not just move a couple rocks, move a bunch of rocks that allows the Resistance to flee a cave which ultimately saves them and allows them to go into the next movie.
few
So
lava
whereas
rocks are
Luke,
very lightweight.
so whereas Luke could raise like 2 rocks and put them on top of each other, Rey just goes all the rocks everywhere.
I would like to just add in my point, just to keep you guys stewing for another second. The interesting thing about Episode 5 and Episode 8, which I will be honest, I was not a fan of Episode 8 as an overall movie. That's nothing against Rey. That's a whole different conversation. But they're both that second movie, and they both see our main Force-sensitive character going and finding a master to train. So you actually get a very good direct comparison of that. What is interesting is, from my memory, Yoda's biggest thing about Luke is he's too impulsive like his father. I don't have the time to train him. We're going to make the same mistakes as not giving him enough training like Anakin did. He's just going to be a carbon copy of his father. Whereas Luke's concerns with Rey is, I have seen power this strong in a young Jedi before, and the last time I saw it was in Kylo Ren, and it terrified me. I'm so scared to see another person this strong with the Force, because he's having flashbacks to how he believes he failed as a master. So right away we have Luke Skywalker himself saying how strong he sees Rey to be, coming from someone who has spent the last decades training young Jedi and then going into exile. He is very, very strong with the Force, and he is already scared of this person. And exactly what Louis said, she shows up, she just like Luke did, they both leave their training to go help their friends. However, she does have an amazing display of strength, and we get to see a lot more strength of the Force in what comes of her training at the time that she leaves than we do with Luke. So in my opinion, at that point, she is a stronger Force user and fighter and Jedi than Luke was at the same point of their stories.
I love how I'm not alone in this fight.
No.
Okay. All right. I got something for you.
This is the thing.
2 minutes.
If you want to go back to what Louis said, at least the man had the courage to go ahead and say, my friends is in danger. I'm going to abandon what I got to do to go and save my friend. And that is not the reason why Han's ass had bounties on his ass from Jabba been looking for his ass. So how dare you say that was Luke's fault? He been looking for his ass.
You.
He lost. He's a smuggler. He owed him his money. Boba go get his ass. I got him. I need him alive. Put his ass in the carbonite. Took him back to where? The Hutts. That's who's responsible. How dare you? Okay. Now, Rey is a Palpatine. One of the most powerful Sith Lords. The motherfucker still running.
We don't know that at
we
this
don't know
point.
that at the time. We don't. That's a fair point. We don't know she's a Palpatine yet.
Jesus and the baby, man.
We're just saying.
Either way,
We don't.
she's overrated
She's
and
a
inflated.
Palpatine, spoiler alert. I'm
She's
kidding.
overrated and inflated. Okay, you just don't run around using the Force like that without some type of knowledge. She has
Why?
Anakin
Anakin did it when he was 9.
I feel like it's some kind of empowerment movie when this movie came out that she was supposed to be there like this. Bullshit.
Were you mad when Anakin was a pod racer at
This is
9
not a
years
rebuttal
old?
phase.
We're not
Were
talking
you
about-
mad?
This is not a rebuttal
Were you mad?
phase.
You were
We're not
mad?
talking about Anakin. We're not talking
Let him
about Anakin.
speak.
Wasn't moving and doing all of this. He was just flying a little plane. That's all he did.
He was the only human to ever be able to do
she
it.
is vastly doing
And he
things
was
that-
9 years old.
Hold on. I got. Okay. So, what you said,
She ain't even a Padawan.
very eloquent, very true on so many points. Did you?
It did give me chills,
Sure.
I will say.
But did you hear everything that she was talking about? She was talking about Luke's story. How awesome of a story is that? You were speaking about Luke. Everything that you told her, it was about Luke. You were talking about how he abandoned his friends or he ran away. He had trained Jedi. He had sought out this little master. He had done all of these things, This is a great story. This is a story of growth. This is a story, this is a coming of age story. This is taking that farm boy who had nothing to look forward to other than a life of moisture evaporators and just being a farm boy, right? Not knowing about, the greatness of his past. Good or bad, his past was great, marred by... Anyway. So, but we're seeing all of these different layers that Luke has. All of these different dimensions, all these different facets that Luke Skywalker has. He put himself into exile, not out of him being afraid, but him being afraid for others, for being afraid for the galaxy at large, because he did not want these things to happen.
That's not episode 5.
the way that they happened before. So when Rey does come to him to talk him out of his exile, she's coming at him from an area of ignorance, really. It's like, hey, Master Luke, you need to suck it up and, grow a pair and come back to the world, but he saw things on such a different level because he is such a highly developed character. He is such a good character. He is a great character. Probably one of the best characters in modern American literature in terms of the hero's journey. But then when we look at Rey at this same time, we do not know at this point that she's related to Palpatine, incredibly powerful. So she's born with this advantage. So is she more powerful than Luke at this point? Probably. If we're comparing them at, the same points in their development, same age, so on and so forth. But Louis' argument was also that Luke is not as good of a character as Rey. Rey is a better
Jedi.
character.
He said Jedi.
He also said character.
That's my opinion, but that doesn't have anything to do with.
Well, it does, because
discussing.
we're trying to refute his opinion, right? We're trying to say that his opinion is wrong, and in this case, it is, because Luke is just an incredibly well-rounded, multifaceted character versus Rey, who just does things. That's not fun to watch. That's boring. It's like It's like if you start playing a video game and you're already maxed out on everything.
You got all the
There's
cheat
no
codes
journey.
already.
There's no. That's right. She's got the cheat code in her blood already. It's boring. When you actually watch the films, the majority of the films are her friends off doing things. Yes, she has a story arc throughout, but it's like it's hardly touched. It's really barely scratching the surface. So
I'm going to throw out a couple points here.
no, it's fine. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I'm done with it. That's fine.
Empire Strikes Back, which is widely considered to be the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, more than half of the movie Luke isn't even in it.
That's very true. Also,
More than half the movie Luke isn't even
Because
in
he's
it.
building story and
A
plot.
lot of
And
your-
he's a
No.
good
Because
character.
sucks.
A lot of your points, too, I'm strictly comparing the characters in those individual movies.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not looking at Luke
who
in
Luke
episode
is
8.
in episode 8 has no bearing on who he is in episode 5. I'm
Thank
talking about...
you.
But you brought it up.
I brought-
but you had brought it up.
and I'll tell you
so
why I
if
brought it up.
But it doesn't matter. You brought it up, so now
Brought it up in the
counter-
context
I
of
brought up
Rey.
in the context of Rey. I brought up in the context of Rey
Sure.
of how
but he's
another...
still a part of it.
Of how
You
Luke...
should talk to Jackie. You should talk to Jackie. Right?
So
If
Jackie,
you're trying to talk to Jackie,
the
don't
reason
talk
why
to
I
me.
brought it up is because of the fact that Luke is the one that trains Rey in episode 8. So Luke, being her master in episode 8,
More credit for Luke.
Yeah.
More credit for Luke.
Great.
as an old
great
man who
job.
has now been training in the Force for decades, he was terrified of her. That is not something that Yoda, who is a 900-year-old Jedi, felt about Luke. He was not scared of Luke's power. He was scared of seeing the son of the man who destroyed the Jedi falling into his father's path. Whereas Luke saw Rey as a Jedi who's just as powerful as Kylo Ren, and he said, I failed that before.
Because Luke
I
had
don't
PTSD
I don't know
because
if
he's a
I'm
well-rounded
good enough
character.
to train. So showing that, not to discredit Luke, but showing how strong Rey actually was, and an accomplished Jedi would genuinely fear the power that she has. And Rey, at this point,
Because
we
he's
are
a good
actually told
character.
that we don't know who her parentage is. Her parentage is nobody. She goes through, and she
Weak.
doesn't have the context to know good, bad, light, dark. She has to go into that battle, into that cave by herself, and come out better on the other side, which she does.
Yeah,
Luke
Obi-Wan
did the same thing in Empire Strikes Back. He went into
Yeah,
the
but
cave.
Obi-Wan
somebody there.
Obi-Wan had already explained the light side and the dark side to Luke in A New Hope. So he went into the Empire Strikes Back already understanding
Sure.
that if he had pushed himself too far one side, that he could go to the dark side. Rey knew none of that stuff
But
prior
she-
to.
she-
She knew
she
none of
felt
it, and
it in
she
the Force,
still was
allegedly.
able to fight against
Right,
it.
she didn't know anything. Because
No,
the character
she
was barely
didn't.
developed.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
a
you're
terrible
so-
character.
Yeah,
And
There's
and
no
one
development.
final thing,
Man.
Tommy said that Luke was the greatest Jedi of all time. Who trained Luke? Yoda. Who trained Rey? Luke. So if Luke is the greatest Jedi of all time, coming from that man there,
Yeah.
and he trained Rey, would that not make Rey better?
No.
Even an even better
No.
character?
No, not necessarily.
No, it would.
That means
all right,
it's-
all right, round 2. All right, yep, we're done. Where are we
Wait,
at
how,
on the?
how are you going to tell her that she's wrong?
Yeah.
She just formed an opinion.
No, I was saying he's wrong.
No, you.
No, I didn't say she was wrong.
Hey,
All right,
she was
Jackie,
wrong.
where do you
where are you
feel
at after round 2?
Well,
Round
okay,
2, yeah.
but that specifically, you saying just because he's the best Jedi means she's even better. No, that's not That,
I mean, who
that
better
I
to-
don't agree with.
Who better to train you?
Silence!
Sure, but that doesn't mean that she is receptive of the information. That, I think, is irrelevant. That is whatever. I am, however, leaning a little to the dark side. I feel like Ventus and Louis were giving me a lot of reasons why Rey is a better Jedi, a better character, whatever. And Tommy was like, he's the best. He's so good. He's just the greatest. And I'm like, I need some...
That's why I was telling you, like,
Okay.
when I was telling you about...
Final round, we're comparing Return of the
They
Jedi
gave me
Luke
chills, so
to
I have
Rise
go
of
with that.
Skywalker Rey. Okay? So in Return of the Jedi Luke, we first see Luke coming to Jabba's palace to bargain for Han Solo's life with Jabba the Hutt, which, of course, fails, and he also gets himself captured. But that's quote-unquote part of his master plan. A plan that took him 2 years to create, by the way, having to plant things in. So poor Han has been stuck in carbonite for 2 years while Luke has been flying around the galaxy trying to figure out a way to save his friend. So ultimately, he does save his friend, again with the help of Chewbacca, Lando, Leia, R2. Doesn't do it by himself. It takes this huge event to happen. He then returns to Yoda 2 years too late for Yoda to die and not finish his training. And Luke goes, I guess that makes me a Jedi Knight after all. And Yoda's like, yeah, no. And then he reunites with his friends and goes on a mission to Endor with them, almost compromising the mission completely by being there in the first place because Vader can sense his presence. It's then his friends that go down to Endor. It's his friends that deactivate the shield. It's his friends that blow up the second Death Star, ultimately ending the final bit of that part of the galactic war.
Now talk about Rey and her friends.
However,
and all the shit that they did for her.
The big bad in that movie was the Emperor, who was killed not by Luke, but by Vader.
His daddy.
Right. Now let's talk about Rey in Rise of Skywalker. She jumps over an effing starfighter, which is super effing cool to watch because holy shit, that was an awesome scene. She does get Chewbacca captured, which was unfortunate, but
Got him killed.
Oh, that's okay.
But
we're just gonna go pat. Look,
but she's the one who ultimately saves him. So nobody else, just Rey.
Did she save him by herself? Or did someone help her? Did she not have a whole cast of characters that helped her
when she went to save
Guys,
Chewbacca?
we're doing so good.
I don't
We're
think
doing
so.
so good.
I don't think
Let's
so.
keep going.
She ultimately convinces Kylo, through their connection and their relationship, to abandon the dark side and come back to the light.
Lies.
It is because their relationship grows over the course of the series, ultimately in the end. Right, but only
but that's not a big deal.
Only when Vader is literally on his last breath, like
Lies.
Doesn't
But
matter.
he believed there was good in him. He had faith in his dad. I get it.
same way Rey did with Kylo. Then Kylo helps Rey, right, get to the Emperor. Then Kylo sacrifices himself for Rey, and Rey becomes all of the Jedi. Literally all of them. And she ultimately kills the Emperor, who was the big bad in 9 movies. It's Rey who finishes Emperor Palpatine, not Luke, not Anakin.
But aren't they related?
Rey.
No, so I'll explain. So to finish up with like
One more thing.
Oh, yeah.
So who was the chosen one? Was it Anakin? Was it Luke? No, it was Rey.
Trash.
I will say also to add on to the Team Rey, I'm going to throw it out there. I hated Rise of Skywalker. I thought it was, but however, in that movie, we start off, we see Rey literally just hovering above the ground, having boulders surrounding herself. I have not seen another Jedi in any movie literally hover like 12 feet off the ground and then gently
forgot
float
about
down.
that.
It wasn't 12 feet. She was like 6 inches
Anyway,
off the ground.
she was not. Anyways, she has also been trained now, not by one, but by 2 Skywalkers. She is trained with Luke originally, as we saw in the last movie, and also Leia continued her training in this one.
Now, who trained Leia? Who trained Leia?
Am I talking to you?
Go ahead.
Luke trained Leia.
Anyways,
Thank you.
So she's been trained now by true Jedi. She goes off. We get to see a lot more of how she connects with the Force. She does have a dyad connection, which means she's very connected with Kylo Ren. She's fending off his dark side advances for like movies now, and it's even stronger in this one. He's furious. He's angry. She's still fending off all of that hate to stay on her goal. Even though the fact that it is revealed she is a Palpatine, it should be in her blood to be evil. But she is so strong in who she is and where she is in the Force that she does not allow herself to be corrupted, to the point at the end, just like Louis said, at the end of episode 6, it is not Luke, or Luke who kills the Emperor. It is Darth Vader who eventually realizes, I'm not a bad dude, and throws him down a shaft. And he doesn't even kill him, apparently. So what we have now in episode 9, we see Rey, who goes in, and she does have some help from Kylo Ren as far as battling the Knights of Ren, but it is Rey by herself, because I think Kylo's unconscious, or he's like knocked out or something. She is so connected with the Force and so strong that you literally hear the voices of Mace Windu, Anakin, Ahsoka Tano,
Qui-Gon.
all of these Jedi who are speaking with her and flooding her full of this, that she's in an arena full of Sith worshippers or Sith ghosts. I don't know, the movie's a little confusing about that part. But
It doesn't go into it because
she takes 2
there's no
lightsabers,
plot.
fends off the Emperor's lightning attack, sends it back at him, and actually she is
Like,
the one
disintegrates him.
disintegrates the Emperor, ending his reign fully, completely.
I know.
fully.
I know. Me too.
It's so good.
And she comes away from that, and she at that point ends her saga in the most neutral place. She is the only Jedi trained person that we see to actually exist in true balance in the Force, and we see that with the existence of her yellow lightsaber. At the end, the reason why she is called Rey Skywalker is because she has made her choice of who she is going to be. She doesn't want to be a Palpatine. That name has been so tainted, but she says, I'm going to take the name of Skywalker, something that was tainted and redeemed, and combine that into one powerful legacy, and going forward redeem them. So she has a yellow lightsaber, which means that it's only wielded by someone who has had and found true neutrality in the Force. And that is why Rey is a better Jedi at the end of her story than Luke is. I will pass it on to these dudes.
So they would have you believe.
The studio audience is in complete agreement.
So they would have you believe that this was the Rey and Kylo show. You know, they talk about how in Jedi, how Luke had help from Lando and Han and Chewbacca and all these people, but there was an entire cast, you know, in this film as well, helping Rey to get to where she needed to go. Okay, this was not just
Not only
Rey
that she
Rey
wasn't
and
paying
Kylo.
a goddamn attention to nothing they told her. She went on her totally own path.
She also had
She
Force
just
healing.
really-
I forgot something.
When it comes
Force
to
healing.
blowing somebody off, she really blew them off. Like, don't go over there. I'm going to do it anyway. She wanted to do whatever the hell she wanted to do.
So when we talk about her becoming one with the Force and you
But check it
know,
out
all
too,
of
though.
these things,
Then you
it's
take
not.
the name of the person that you're saying is trash. Why she just didn't keep Palpatine? Oh, I'm going to be a Skywalker now because she saw the greatness in Skywalker. So I want to be one. So she was already
not
riding
because
the
of
family.
Luke,
when
but because of the entire heritage.
Jackie, so since they're done.
And then she throws her lightsaber away. Who comes
She
out
buried
as
the
a
lightsaber,
Force
yeah.
ghost and says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And says, "This is what you need to do." And he says he was wrong.
So
the man astral projected himself
She needed
across planets
because she wasn't as strong in the Force as they're leading you to believe. All of these Jedi from the past, because when you become one with the Force, you're connected everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, you feel everything in the Force. They saw the threat that Palpatine was posing to the galaxy. Papa Palpy is back, and he is decimating, you know, thousands and thousands of people with his lightning up in the sky or whatever. The only person who was there that they could work through was Rey. She was a vessel at that point. She herself did not become one with the galactic force. They went into her.
Kylo was
because
there.
Kylo was also
And Ben
very
was-
much.
and Ben was a
Can I finish?
Skywalker.
Can I finish, please?
Ben was
Thank
a
you.
Skywalker.
Thank you very much
Ben
for
was
your
a
help. Thank you
Skywalker.
very much.
Ben is Kylo's real name.
So thank you very much. Thank you. But it's our turn. So Rey was a vessel.
Just clarifying something for me that Ben and Kylo are the same person. That's all.
Yes, Ben Solo. So
Is Kylo
Leia,
Ren.
yes, Leia and Han had a child, Ben, and he turned to the dark side and became Kylo Ren, and he got rid of all that Ben.
Which is
Solo
why
stuff,
Luke felt
right?
bad and went into.
Right.
hiding.
He was concerned because of what happened with Kylo, and he was like, "Yeah, we can't let this happen again." So he was like, "I am going to be responsible and not." I mean, he was probably overreacting, but in his opinion, instead of unleashing this evil on the galaxy, I'm not training anybody anymore and risking the galaxy. So it's not just him being selfish; it's him thinking about everybody in the galaxy. But anyway, it wasn't Rey's power; it was Rey being in the right place at the right time. Of course, her friends helped her get there. She was a vessel only. It wasn't her power. It wasn't her ability. It wasn't even her lineage. It was the fact that she was who she was and where she was at that time. So the Jedi moved through her to give her the ability to take out Palpatine, because she would not have been able to do that by herself without the help of every Jedi in the galaxy.
Can I ask a question?
And no, you cannot. And then also Luke was a major part of that. You know, Luke and Rey helped each other in the end. Okay, they helped each other to grow, and of course we know Luke sacrificed. Well, I don't know if you know, but Luke did end up sacrificing himself for the greater good, thus completing his journey and passing the mantle of the hero on to Rey, who will now continue her journey. Maybe, I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know.
with it.
You just said she was a vessel. She wasn't really much.
She's
of
a vessel, and she still has a lot to learn. And she was not a very well written character. She's a very dry, very bland character when compared to Luke. When now that we're allowed to, we can look at his overall story arc. When we look at him, where he was in A New Hope and where he ended up at the end, that is the completion of an amazing hero's journey. And now he's passed that on to Rey, and she's taken up that mantle, and she's gonna run with it. She's gonna move forward with that. But it wouldn't have been possible without Luke. It wouldn't have been possible without that backstory. You know, she couldn't have just done all of these things. Luke and all of his friends that helped him also helped her. You know, Han helped her, Chewbacca helped her, Lando helped her. All the same people that helped Luke helped Rey. But of course, they're not going to tell you that because that's not important. They just played tertiary roles in this. These legendary characters, they weren't really that important. So, but that's it. That's it. So in my opinion, I think the facts are there. Luke is a better character than Rey. Better, more well written. Period.
Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
So I have closing statements before I give my closing
Can
statement.
I, since you are the host, can I give mine?
Yeah, before I do that, I just want to rebut one tiny thing that he mentioned. Every time that these friends helped Luke, they were in the same spot, right? So Luke was putting the torpedoes into the Death Star. Han was literally right above him. When Luke went to Bespin to fight Vader and save his friends, literally they were right there with each other. When in Return of the Jedi, when Luke goes to save Han from Jabba, all of the friends are right there.
Yeah.
When Rey is doing these things, when Rey fights Kylo on the ice planet, whatever it is, where's everybody else? Not there. When Rey fights, or when...
So what?
What do you mean?
So what?
You're saying that the same group of people helped. They were doing completely
But you know
different
what?
things.
Wait, hold on. I got it. Because here's
They were
why.
doing completely different things.
Here's why I say so what. One second. Here's why I say so what. Because again, we're talking about the development and the growth of a hero. That's just an interesting story. I don't want to just see one person go along and just be a badass and just do everything there is to do, because that's not even realistic. I can't even connect to Rey. There's nothing to connect to.
Well, if we're going to talk about the development and growth of a character,
you've got to look at, like, with
Rey's
Luke.
great.
Luke stumbles, he falls, he fails a lot, ultimately to become this very powerful Jedi Master. Rey does not really stumble or fall, or she doesn't fail. You know, she's helped along the way.
Our producer's cutting us off.
Oh, all right. Producer's
So-
cutting off.
Can
All
I
right,
ask,
so
what is
I'm ready to
we
cut
got-
you
so
off.
Jackie.
This is so long.
Yeah, it is. All right, so Jackie, your final. Where are you at?
Think about the journey.
We're talking about the character. Which character?
What is your original question? Or your original argument?
Is
your
Rey
original statement?
Is Rey a better Jedi than Luke?
And character, you said
Rey
you
is
said,
a better Jedi than Luke.
No, and character. You said Rey is a better character.
In my opinion, also a character.
Yes,
but,
Jedi and character.
But it's even on my cue card. Is Rey a better Jedi than Luke?
And you said character as well.
He said it as an opinion, but the actual statement.
Yes. Is Rey a better Jedi than Luke?
I hear what you guys are saying.
Then why already know
This team gave me chills. I hear what you're saying. So I'm gonna go a little bit back, but I'm gonna stay on the dark side. I need to watch the sequels because Rey sounds like a great character.
She's awesome.
She really is.
She's awesome.
So when you watch
I think I'm gonna love them.
Yeah. So I think when you watch
You'll
the sequels and after you watch it, you're gonna say Rey was really dry and one-dimensional.
Okay, but
it's a shame you can only
from
talk
the
about writing
arguments
and not her
today,
actual skills.
Her skills were written. So,
Her skills were written to be badass.
Yeah, but again,
All right,
we gotta wrap it up.
from the
Producer's
arguments
about to
today,
throw
having
something.
not actually seen the sequels, I'm leaning on the dark side.
That's all right. You'll come back. Once you
Right.
see him, you'll come back.
Okay.
All right, close
Today.
this out.
All right, that's a wrap. All right, thank you for joining us. For all of you folks joining us, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, if no one does anything nice for you, do something nice to yourself. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey, poke that Circle of Nerds icon to subscribe, and ring that bell icon to get notifications whenever we post a new video. If you'd like to experience the full length and girth of our shows, full length and girth. Do I have to say that? Ugh, that's cringy. Head on over to patreon.com/Circle of Nerds for exclusive content, full episodes, and more. Thanks for watching, and stay crusty.
No, I feel safe with Marcus. I feel safe with Marcus.
We're snuggly.
Okay.
Snuggly
Save it for
time.
OnlyFans.
Maybe lose the pillow for the introduction.
If he's comfortable letting it.